intersection of good drinks, good music, and good times. This is Hops and Spirits Bar Conversations.
We're closing out 2025 in a fun way, I believe, as we have a great guest. She's a singer-songwriter. Her latest album, All of the Pieces Unplugged, is out now everywhere that you can listen. Let's welcome in Emily Brooke.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Well, welcome in. I'm glad to have you and glad to close out 2024 with you. It's crazy to think here in a few weeks it'll be 2025.
It's absolutely crazy. Like how fast the year flew by, and I feel like it happens every year, but still it's so shocking, like every time that it just disappears.
Very quickly too. I think it only gets faster as we get older. So you got that to look forward to.
That's that's true. I just turned 26 and it's so weird because internally I feel like I'm still so much younger. I feel like I'm still early 20s. And I did like a survey earlier, and when I put in my birthday, it was like, "Oh, you're in your mid 20s." And I was like, "You didn't have to say that like that."
Yeah, it's hard whenever they, the when you pick the age ranges, it was like, 18 to 25, 26 to 35, and I was like,
Yes,
I've
it's
hit
a
a
different
couple.
bracket.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
No.
So
Oh my gosh, I'm like, dang, I need to like get my life in order. I feel like it's just speeding by.
well, I think you're doing pretty good though. Like I said, you got a new album out. We'll talk about some other things that you've gotten to do here recently, but I got to ask you, this is Bar Conversations. I've got a little whiskey because you seem like a fun person, someone that, kind of unique blend. So they did a little Filmland Spirits Ryes of the Robots where they put a little story with their bourbon.
Whoa, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
a little something fun.
Wait, I need to look this up. What is it called again?
Filmland Spirits. This is Rise of the Robots. They have other ones, and this is extended cut, which is their barrel proof. But on every bottle, they put a little QR code that gives a storyboard on it.
That's so cute. I love that. I
So
I tell people I drink, like, I'm not picky. I'll say that. So like I enjoy my old fashions. I enjoy whiskeys. I also enjoy like red wines. My dog decided right now is the time that she's going to play with her squeaky toy. Has not done this at all until
you are
right
not
now.
the first guest to have that happen. It is okay. The last few have had dogs. We're all cool.
She's really cute though. She looks like that. That didn't work like I thought it would, but she at least looks really cute doing it. Little girl.
She does, and it sounds like you enjoy kind of just any type of drink then, as long as it's good,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. I just actually a couple months ago, I quit my server job, but I've worked in the service industry, like bar industry life for, I want to say since I was like 17 or 18. So you're just always around it. So you're trying different drinks and cocktails and all that. So red wine, though, I would say it was like a slow burn. Like I didn't like it for a while. And then, I don't know, your taste buds change every, I think, 7 years or something, 3 or 7 years. And tried it one day and I was like, wait a second, this is actually pretty good. And so I had some girlfriends over last night for like a little Christmas party thing. And I started with a margarita, then I had an espresso martini, and then I ended with this red wine. And so I'm going chill this evening with just like a red wine. I kind of went a little crazy yesterday.
Now, how deep into the wines are you then? Do you like have your favorite types of red wines? Cab Sauv, blended, Malbec, anything like that?
Yes, I definitely lean towards like the Cab Sauv, and red blends. So like Prisoner, that's probably like really up there. Or Dow is another. They have like a cab that's really, really good. And it's a really clean, I don't know what's different about it, but it's just like a really clean wine because there was one night my boyfriend and I, we were drinking it, and he had like half of his glass, and it was the first time I tried it. I was like, this is amazing. And I just finished the bottle that evening. It just lost track of where it was. And I was like, I'm not even, like, I have like maybe a slight little buzz, but normally, like, sometimes with wines, my nose will close up or like my fingers will swell. And that doesn't do it. So I was like, wow, this is amazing wine. And it's like 20
I was
bucks.
gonna say that's a keeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like it. I like the willingness to try things, experiment, see where your taste buds go. Because I feel like that's what's done it for me. I was not a wine guy. Then we went on a trip down to Argentina and Chile, and all of a sudden I liked red wine because it was red wine and meat down there. So therefore that's what we did. Yep. And you recently got to go on a fun trip. You did a month-long tour in the Netherlands. How was that?
It was really cool. It was the first time that I have played outside of the States. And it's also the longest I've ever been out of the country. I only got my passport this year because my mom had this crazy idea last year and was like, let's just see, because Taylor Swift, had her Eras tour. And we found tickets for like $200 each for her show in Nashville. And so we got really lucky with that, but it was the rain night here. And so it was just crazy. And my mom's a big Swiftie, and she was like, what if we let Taylor Swift decide where the first place we go out of the country is? Because my mom, like, my whole family has never been out of the country. And she's like, we have a whole year to save, prepare, whatever. So ended up being, we got tickets to see her in Amsterdam.
Okay.
So we all got our passports for that trip, and that was in July. And then randomly, one of my friends called me and was like, hey, I'm supposed to do this tour, but I got this other opportunity. Would you be interested? Like, can I like pitch you for the tour? Like, would you be available? Would you be interested at all? And that was like 9 days before I had to leave.
Good thing you had that passport.
Yeah, so good thing I had that passport because I was able to figure it all out and went, and it was the longest that I've ever been out of the country, and only the second time too, and I was by myself. So it was a really cool experience overall, just getting to see like how different the culture is, and different, we went like all over to different theaters in the Netherlands. So just like getting to see the country was really cool too.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, for you that, that was your first time kind of out of the States and stuff. Are you someone, though, that loves to travel and go to different places, even if it is just in the States and things like that? And what's been some of your favorite places you've been able to visit so far?
Yes, I do. I love, especially spontaneous travel is like right up my alley. I love just, besides being able to like obviously do music and that aspect of it, my second favorite part of the job is that I just get to like travel and see new places. So definitely traveler at heart. Favorite place that I've been though, in the States or like,
or out anywhere.
I want to say I've gotten to go to Chicago a couple times over the past year, and every time I've gone, I've just really loved it. So Chicago is really cool, but also when we did the trip to Europe in July, we took the train from Amsterdam to Paris for a day, and controversial opinion, but Paris was our favorite out of like all of the countries. It was a couple weeks before the Olympics, so I know they like went through and like did a lot of like they cleaned out a lot of stuff and it was very like pristine. But everybody was so nice. And also, I have a tattoo on the back of my neck that's in French and it means dreamer in French. And so I've just always loved the language, so I kind of knew a little bit when I went there, so I was able to like do the common greetings and questions and whatnot.
I'm sure that helped.
Yes, that definitely helped. Where they weren't immediately like, Americans. But yeah, I would say Paris, love Chicago, Nashville. I love being here. There's always something to do. And it's just, I love the seasons. I feel like because I love to travel, I can find something that I love about everywhere that I've been, but I'd say those stick out to me the most.
You know, as I mentioned, you know, you get to do stuff. Just knowing your personality in these few minutes, you love to probably try the different cuisines, drinks, and the places that you're going, and kind of explore the culture a little bit.
Yes, it is like one of my favorite things to do, especially so recently my friend and I, we went to New York literally for 36 hours because Post Malone had announced that he was doing a tour, and this was the end of September when the show was. But he had posted one show date that was in like New York, and flights from Nashville to there are really cheap, like especially if you get it at a good time. And I had points and also like a voucher. So I got my flight for free. Basically, Post Malone was playing a festival in Central Park. And for like VIP tickets, they were $150. So my friend and I were like, that is like, because you can't get a ticket to see him in Nashville for the combined price of a flight and the ticket. So we were like, let's just go, be super spontaneous. We're just staying the one night. And it was so much fun. We just went to some random bar we saw on Instagram. And then we asked the bartender, like, where should we go next? Like, what's like a cool kind of bar? And she gave us a couple recommendations, and we went to this one place. It was like Sundry and something. And it was so cool, so chill. It was like, it was giving like authentic New York, where it was vibey, it was cute, but it was also like speakeasy, like there was like good mood lighting and everybody was talking. It just, I don't know, it felt very New York and it was really cute. So I would say, I think that's like the most recent thing besides being in the Netherlands, and they're like, you have to try butterballs. Yeah.
No, but it's so fun to get to do that kind of stuff. And, you know, like you said, being able to be a singer, songwriter has let you kind of maybe get to experience a few more places. Did you grow up, though, in a musical family? Like, where does that love of music come from?
I didn't actually. The extent of music in my family was, which I never knew this until I wanted to start taking guitar lessons, but my dad took lessons in high school for like a couple months. And then that was it. And then my parents met country line dancing. And I just like grew up listening to music. So it was very random, I would say, me wanting to do something in music. But it was because Taylor Swift and Hannah Montana were like the thing and just skyrocketing. And so I thought it was really cool that there were females like kind of near my age that played guitar. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do that and take lessons and see how that was. And here we are.
Well, I was going to say here we are, but it was a tough choice, though, because if I read correctly somewhere, you had to make a choice between either guitar or cheerleading. Is that right? You had to pick one or the other.
Yeah. So my parents, I had been in cheer for, I think, maybe a year. And I had just, like a couple months prior, twisted my ankle in cheer. Fun fact, I have like twisted, sprained, or broke my ankles 3 times. Like left, right, left. Or I can't remember which one is the twice one, but one of them I did twice. From a trampoline and cheer, and then tripping on a hose from running. It just happens to me. So, but I was coming
maybe the
up with
guitar
that.
was a good choice.
Yeah. And my parents were like, so you could go back into cheer once your ankle heals, or if you want to start guitar lessons, you can do that, but we just like can't afford to pay for both because cheer is expensive and guitar lessons, you know, weren't cheap either. So that's what I went with. I had to choose, and yeah, never went back. Because also I had bruises. I wasn't like the fun flyer or anything. So, because I'm 5'8", 5'9", and I've always just been tall. And they're like, "You're not a flyer," and I was like, "Well,
But that's the fun part.
that's not as cute for me." So.
Well,
But yeah.
well, like you said, it seems to have worked out well for you. You're playing guitar now, you're singing. So, but I know you mentioned Hannah Montana, Taylor Swift. What music did you grow up on? I'm guessing those, but I'm guessing there were some other influences in there as well.
Yes. Road trips in the car, the radio would be like Meatloaf, REO Speedwagon, Pat Benatar, also like George Strait and Clay Walker, the Dixie Chicks, Stevie Nicks, just like the blend of, because my parents, they met country line dancing, but they grew up like listening to rock and everything. So country kind of came like later in their lives. So I grew up listening to both, and it's so fun being able to have that. Because when I do shows where mostly I'm doing cover songs, I'm able to cover a wide range of music just from how I grew up listening to music with my family. So, yeah.
An eclectic mix, and
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I think one or a couple, like you said, maybe rise to the top. And you mentioned your mom being a big Swiftie, you guys getting to go to the shows. Is it true though you got to meet Taylor Swift's family at CMA Fest one year, and that's kind of maybe what sparked all of this that you now are doing?
It was honestly like the craziest thing. There's a video of me on YouTube singing for Taylor Swift's mom. And it was so random. But so basically, it was the first year that we had gone to CMA Fest as a family, and because I started taking guitar lessons and singing just went with it. And my family friends, whatever, would tell my mom and dad, like, you should take her to Nashville. It's the place to be. And so we took that first trip, drove up, and I only have one other sibling. I have a brother who's 3.5 years younger than me. And so when we went, we had tickets to LP Field, which is now in Nissan, but that's where the big concerts are every year. And so my parents were like, well, let's just drive by the convention center and see if there's a line already started, because we knew that Taylor was doing a signing the next day and wanted to go to that. So randomly, just were like, let's drive by and see if anybody's in line. It was 6 p.m. the night before, and there was already like 70 people like lining up on the streets. And so my mom was like, Em, like, what do you want to do? Like, do you really want to meet her? And I was like, yeah, like, I really do. And she's like, okay, let's go. So my mom and I got out of the car, we got in line, and then my brother and my dad went to Walmart and bought pool floaties and Raid, so we could like sleep on the street that night to meet her the next day. And so my guitar was with me because I was going to get that signed. And there was a guy walking through like with a Taylor Swift magazine and was like, saw my guitar, and said, if you want a magazine, you have to play for it. And so I started playing like a Taylor Swift song. And then it just turned into people being like, come play over here for my mom and my friends, my sister. And ended up doing that all night. And my brother like took off his cowboy hat and put it out as like a tip jar. And like, it was so funny. And so one of the girls in line who was in front of us went and met Taylor first. She was ahead of us in line. And then told her mom, Andrea, was like, hey, you need to listen to this girl. Like, she's been entertaining us all night. Like, she has such a great voice, whatever. And so met Taylor, had her sign my guitar, took a picture, and then you like walked like 4 feet, and it was Andrea. So then when I got to her, she was like, I heard you've been entertaining everybody all night. Like, do you want to play me something? And so I played her Fearless by Taylor Swift. And there's a video that the girl, Kayla, who's our friend that told them and whatever, it's a video she posted on YouTube. And if you look up like Emily Brooke plays for Taylor Swift's mom, it comes up. But I had like a bob haircut and I was like 10 years old, I want to say. But it was such a cool experience. And then her dad, Taylor's dad, was there and just talked to us for like 45 minutes about, get her incorporated, have her learn how to play the national anthem on guitar, just like a bunch of different random like tips, and just, it was so sweet that they just like took the time to do that, like talk to us for literally 45 minutes, just giving different things. So it was crazy, but so cool. But I haven't, actually I did get to meet her again, like I want to say 2 years after that, and her mom remembered me. Like it was like the 13-hour meet and greet that Taylor Swift did in Nashville, and my dad and I'm pretty sure it was my dad and I, we went, and when we got up to like the bus, met Taylor, went onto the bus to say hi to Andrea. The second I walked up, she was like, oh my God, Emily, you better still be singing. And so it was really cool, but I haven't seen them since that, when I was like 12. So that would be kind of like a bucket list thing, to be like, I'm still here.
still making music, and now you're, I guess, a colleague in a sense with Taylor, and it's cool to have those memories, because it's not everyone gets to have those things, and it's cool to have those that you get to share. And you talk about your family. I mean, clearly they've done a lot for you. You grew up in Florida, I believe. You made the trip back and forth so many times. What impact did growing up in Florida and just your family in general have on you?
Definitely my like work ethic. My dad's a firefighter and my mom is a dental assistant, and like I didn't grow up having money. It was like, if you wanted something, you had to work for it. Like my dad would do his, go to the station and all that, but then also would teach EMT classes or like CPR classes. And he also had like an outdoor kitchen business. My parents also had like a landscaping business at one point. What else? He would like drive limos for this lady in South Florida, like just random stuff to just like help pay, because my brother was in baseball, I was in music. And so then my mom, she worked full-time as a dental assistant, and then obviously taking care of us. So my parents are like such hard workers, so I just always grew up with that like mentality, and just I've always, like, the second that I could have a job, I got one. Like, I worked at a concession stand at a baseball field. That was my first job. I think I was 14. And then I've worked ever since then. Had, like, 3 jobs at one point to be able to pay to go back and forth to Nashville. So definitely the work ethic. And growing up in Florida, there wasn't that big of a music scene, so it was really cool to be so young starting that, and also accompanying myself with the guitar made kind of like definitely made a difference with me being able to like get different shows and stuff like that, because I didn't need like a track, or it wasn't like a karaoke type of situation. So it was really cool. We actually, you could probably tell I'm very fair, so like we never went to the beach. We lived like 20 minutes from the beach, really never went.
Just a tent. That was it on the beach.
What?
just sitting in a tent on the beach, and that's it.
Oh yeah. Like if we went to the beach, it was like a whole thing. So we've just very rarely ever went, because you'd have to like pay to park and load up the car, and then you're unloading, and then you're there for a couple hours, and then doing it all over again. So yeah, but like living like landlocked now, I obviously don't just have like a boat on a lake in my back pocket. So whenever there's like such a beautiful day here, I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice like to go to the beach right now. And when my boyfriend and I first started dating, because he's from Florida as well, and we did long distance, and whenever I would come into town, we would have like a boat day, one of his friends' boats, and I didn't have any friends with boats when I was younger, so I really didn't get the full Florida experience, I feel like, until I got older. And then I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, boat days. That's my thing. I can do that. I'm out of the water, but I'm vibing. It's great.
I think you can do the whole tourist thing now that you live in Nashville when you go visit, right?
Exactly. So I'm silly.
Well, and but I feel like, though, like you said, you're in Nashville now. I feel like you knew, though, that was where you were going to end up, even at a young age. So, but like you said, it's not always easy. You were kind of doing back and forth. What made you, though, move to Nashville full time, and what's that been like?
Yeah, since that first trip to Nashville, I always wanted to move, because I was like, there's music everywhere. It's so cool. I want to be there, whatever. And always like tried convincing my parents, like, let's move, let's go. And it was just never a thing. But did the whole back and forth thing for a while. And it was kind of also like a last minute decision. I want to say a month before I moved, one of my really close friends who had already lived in Nashville for about a year and a half, she texted me and was like, hey, I'm moving to a new building and I'm looking for a new roommate. I know you've been wanting to move to Nashville. Do you know when you are moving? And I was like, this would kind of be like the perfect situation, because it'd be a friend that I've already known for a while, and versus try to find some random person through like rooms that would just be scary. So she's already been living there. She found a great like apartment, and yeah, within a month I packed on up and went. It's been really great. It's been hard as well, like, because obviously there's so many people here trying to do the same thing. So there's all the voices, there's all the things. And like in any industry, it's hard to make it, and you just got to keep trying every day. But it definitely is one of those things where you got to be in it to win it. Like, get more opportunities, you're seen more, networking, all that kind of stuff, being able to take meetings and whatnot. So yeah, it's like anything in life where you're like, yes, I love being here, and at the same time I am crying like at least once a month about trying to make it. So
hopefully every now and then those are good tears where it has worked out.
The last time it was happy tears was the Netherlands thing where I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, I'm going and doing this. This is crazy.
So, see, there are good tears there too. And, you
Yeah.
know, you took a chance on yourself. You know, at the end of the day, you're still taking a chance on yourself to go up. And I read somewhere where, you know, like you said, you had all these people telling you how amazing your voice was. But at times when we're young, we're like, are they just saying that to be nice? So I believe you went to what was then the Colgate Country Showdown. I forget what it's now called, but Country Showdown qualifier things. And you won? Like you drove multiple hours away from where you grew up just to see?
Yeah. It was so random and I'm so sorry. I had this fancy, oh, maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll give me some more life. I have this light, so I'm not, oh, I think it just overheated. Okay, sorry. A little chaotic over here. Yeah, it was super random. My brother and I, we were actually in like a theater camp that summer. First time ever doing that. And I just started guitar lessons probably like eight or 9 months prior to that. So I'm either like freshly 10 years old or 9. And my mom, she picks us up. I think it's like the day of the like final performance, what we've been prepping for this whole time. And she picks us up and she's like, okay, so I found this competition and it's in like Swanee River. It's super cute. It's like we can camp kind of, and like they were like little, you know, like camp cabin things. But she's like, it's going to be great. It's going to be so fun. We're going to go and do this. And, you know, because everybody always tells us that you're amazing and we think you're amazing. But are they just telling us that you're amazing? Like maybe we just want to go, we'll have fun, do this little competition, and then that way like we can get, you know, outside feedback that's not biased. And I was like, okay. So went, did it, and won. And then we were like, okay. So like maybe she could do this. Yeah. So it was fun. It was crazy because it was also like I think an 8 or 9 hour drive. And we're literally just picked up from this theater camp and went straight into a 9 hour drive. So I think I probably get my spontaneity from my mother. That's what it's sounding like.
There's worse qualities you could get.
Yeah, that is true. Absolutely true.
Well, and clearly, apparently, you liked being on that kind of stage and doing that thing because you went on American Idol not once but twice. You know, what pushed you to go on the show, and then what pushed you to come back after you were able to get a little ways in that first time around?
So the first time it was just a crazy timing thing. I'm very big on like signs where like my birthday's 11/11 and I see 11s and 1s and angel numbers and all that kind of stuff. And so I had walked out of my bedroom. My parents always watched American Idol, especially my mom, like was a diehard American Idol fan. And it was the year that Caleb had won. And I just had walked out because I didn't really watch it. I was just kind of like, okay, you know, same thing. And walked out of my room at the exact moment that Ryan Seacrest was like, our new winner, Caleb, and this could be you next year. Come and audition. This is your shot. And I was like, he's speaking to me. So I was just convinced. I was like, it's a sign. I walked out of my room at the perfect timing, and Ryan Seacrest is talking to me through the television, and I need to go. And so I told my parents that I wanted to audition, and they're like, absolutely. The only thing is, like, we can't really afford to get you, like, to Nashville to audition right now. And so I was like, okay, well, if I do enough shows, and at this point I was 15, and I'd been doing music since I was 9, 10, and playing out doing shows. So I was doing a lot of different venues and stuff at this point. So I was like, if I can make enough money through my shows, can I go? Like, can we go and audition? And my parents are super supportive, obviously. So they're like, of course, if you're able to, do that, then we can go for sure. And so ended up doing it. And we did like the whole cattle call thing, made it through the cattle call, which is just like in front of producers. And then you did like another executive producer audition, another executive audition, and then you got in front of the judges. So we thought it was going to be like a 3-day little trip, like drive there one day, come back the third. And that was not the case, because I just I kept moving on. And so that was a really great experience. Their advice that season when I got eliminated was to just like work on my stage presence with and without the guitar, because I'd always had it. It was kind of like my safety blanket. So that year coming off of the show, I did I want to say almost 200 shows that year being off. Just I got a band together. We just did the darn thing. And they asked me to come back and if I wanted to audition again. So they invited me back for a private audition, and then made it through that with the executives and went back to the judges. So then that year, the second year that I was on, I made top 24. So it was a great, for me, I feel very lucky that they gave me as much exposure as they did, because I definitely had friends that made it the same distance that I did, and they were never shown. And so to go through all of that craziness to not even get the exposure like that, I can imagine sucks. So it was a crazy experience, but I'm thankful for it. So
Well, and now you're doing your own music, and like I said at the top of the show, you just released your latest album, All the Pieces Unplugged. What pushed you to put that album out and kind of go the unplugged route and everything like that?
So when I was dating, in the dating scene, I would go through a range of emotions when it would not work out. And I just remember being in my car and wishing that there was one album that kind of took me through the feelings in stages. And throughout the years of writing, I kind of realized that I had just naturally written a lot of those phases and feelings. And so I hadn't put out an album or EP since I was 18. And I was like, I think it's time. I definitely need to do this. But also I'm an independent artist, so putting out an album costs a lot of money to fully produce it. And I also knew at the time of this that in the new year, my sound direction is going more country rock versus country pop. And so I was like, I think the album itself would be not only financially beneficial to do it acoustic, but also to play into the whole the emotions of it, to just be really broken down, vulnerable. And that was kind of both things had a part in that final decision of being okay, this definitely should be acoustic. And we ended up doing it in my old apartment living room. We moved all the furniture. So it was also the place that I went through a lot of those feelings. So it was really cool. I I'm really happy with it. It was also chaotic, like trying to, get it all done and figure out the timing and all that. But I'm so happy that it's out and everybody's seeming to really enjoy it. And it's also the last song on the album I will be, I guess, probably announcing soon. But it will be re-released as a single, fully produced and all of that. So not only is it like an emotional roller coaster transition of feelings, but also sonically, the last song brings you into where I'm going as an artist sonically in the new year. So, yeah.
I like that. A lot going on there, and it's a fantastic album. It's one I recommend if you haven't, give it a listen. And on the record, you co-wrote every song. Why was that important to you to kind of clearly, if these are the emotions you went through, I'm guessing you wanted to be the one that got to at least kind of share some of that.
Yeah, and everything that I put out, I want to come from a vulnerable place. I always want to put out music that, because I feel like fans share so much, being oh, this song made me feel this way, or I related to this so much in this way. And when I released my first album at 13, I had co-written, I want to say 2 or 3 of the songs on the album, and it was 10 songs, and then we outsourced those from catalogs and stuff. And I remember, even though I was young, obviously I didn't have any writing experience, so it wasn't a thing in that way, but I just remember people would be like, oh my gosh, I love this song from the album, did you write it? And I was like, no, I didn't write that one. It's such a great song though. And so I loved being more into it, integral, whatever the word is. I wanted to be more a part of the album, because putting out this music, I don't know, I just feel like it gives you a deeper connection to what you're working on and what you're doing. And obviously there's songs that amazing songwriters write all of the time. And so whenever I hear a song that I really relate to, I'll make note of it. And if it fits what I'm working on next, then I'm okay, cool. But yeah, I always like to have a part in the writing side of things when it comes to releasing my stuff. So yeah.
Well, like I said, and you touched on this. People connect to the music. They see themselves in the lyrics and different things like that. And for you, you kind of have a distinct edge when it comes to your music. I think someone said sweet and sassy. Where does that kind of edge come from in your writing and your music? Because clearly it sounds like you're also maybe going to show a little bit more of that distinct side as the new year hits.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of always been in my personality since I was a kid. I've always just been my parents will tell stories about me as a kid. I've just always known what I wanted, and my mom would try to put me in jeans, and I'd be like, no, I'm only wearing a dress. And I don't know, I've always kind of just said how it is and been sassy or whatever. It's just who I am. And sometimes things come off the wrong way, so that's bit me in the butt, where I'm I didn't mean it like that, but it came off like that. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely my personality. So I'm just trying to tie in my personality into the songs as well. Think You're Jolene or Whiskey Side of Me. I feel even going back to Easy on Me, I released that in early 2021, and I wrote it when I was 18 though. So that's like 2017, or 2018 maybe? No. That's probably 2016 if I was born in 98. Let's do math. Okay. So, yeah, like that song, it's like, if you're going to break my heart, like just break it completely. Don't do it gently. Like just get it over with. Like don't try to be nice about it, because I want to hate you. If you're going to break my heart, that makes it so much easier for me. So don't go easy on me. So I feel like it's just always kind of been in the not background, but kind of with my music. It's always been there. And so just kind of realizing that and tying it in sonically with the production and everything, I'm really excited and looking forward to the creation of new music. And I'll be doing a writer's retreat in the new year as well to write for everything else to come. So I'm excited.
Well, sounds like a lot of great things are coming about, and you've been fortunate enough to perform with the likes, be openers for, Kelsey Ballerini, Old Dominion, Craig Campbell, Randy Houser, so many amazing folks. What's that like for you? Because I'm guessing it's an opportunity, one, yeah, that's amazing to be, opening for them, but two, a chance to maybe learn or gain a whole lot of different things.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Especially from being on American Idol, it definitely helped like open those doors when I was young with the radio station being more apt to have me be the opener. And so, yeah, it's been really cool. It's obviously also looks great on a resume. But yeah, getting to just talk to them when I can't, like, because sometimes, you don't always get to meet them when you're opening. And so some of the times getting to chat and ask questions or them giving advice is always super awesome for them to take the time to do that. So, yeah.
Well, and now you get to, perform all the time. Like you said, you've been doing it for a while. What's the best part for you about being on stage?
Ooh. I love when I can see that a crowd is having fun. Like I feed off of the crowd energy. Because also doing this for so long, I've done so many cover shows where you're just playing cover songs for 3 or 4 hours to a bunch of people that don't care or aren't paying attention. Or like I had a show earlier today, like it was like 2:45 to 6:15 by myself, and it was really good some of the times, and then there was like a good solid 30 minutes where I'd like play a song and no one claps when you're done, because you're at a bar, you're playing for people that are just there to hang out. Totally understandable. But at the same time, it's very draining, because you're there to perform and you're giving off energy, and then when you're not getting it back, it makes it very difficult to like keep on that same level of, hey guys, this is the next song we're playing. I hope we're all having a great time. You're not listening to a thing that I have to say, but it's okay. I'm here. I'm having an awesome time. So I love when I can just, when I feel, when I see, when I hear that a crowd's having a great time, because then I even have even more fun. So I would say that. Or like there's been a couple times where I'll play shows and fans will like be there and know my songs, or I'll have people request originals, and that's always so stinking cool. So there's a couple different things that I like love about it. The crowd feedback is always great, and just performing in general, especially like I would say I feel like I do better with big crowds. Like I don't know if that is similar to like a public speaking thing. I feel like I'm so bad at public speaking. Like if you put me on stage in front of a crowd to just talk, that was one of the issues growing up, which I'm babbling right now. And that's perfect example because I literally could rehearse something. My parents would be like, practice what you're going to say, because I would just say some random shit. And I'm like, I don't know. Where did it come from? I don't know. I practiced what I was supposed to say a million times, forgot it. My brain went empty. So I feel like I tend to do better, like performing wise, when it's in front of a bigger crowd, which is weird. I think it's because when it's a smaller crowd, I can like actually like focus like on individual, like I feel the eyes on me when it's a smaller crowd. Does that make any sense?
It does. You become more focused the larger the crowd, because there's more going on and maybe less distractions.
Yes, because I'm like, I have to like look at obviously people to like connect and portray like the emotions and stuff of the song. But when you don't have that many people to look at, it's like, I don't want you to think I'm singing this song directly into your soul because I'm staring too long. So, yeah, it's funny.
Just count and start looking up and trying to not stare.
I'm crazy. It's fine.
Well, I always love starting the show off asking, what's your favorite drink? And, you got a little red wine tonight, but what's your favorite? I always love asking this one, too, because I think it's always unique to see what the artist says. And what's your favorite song right now to perform on stage, whether it's yours or someone else's?
Ooh. There's a few. I love doing Blue by Leanne Rimes because I feel like it surprises people. And then I love performing YY, which is the last song on this album, because it's just so catchy, and since we wrote it, I've been playing it out at shows, and I just really love the song, and I think it's really cool. So that one, and there's a few others. I love songs that I can do fun things with my voice, like when it's almost like you can just play and just do. It's fun. So yeah.
I was going to say, I think that's my favorite part about the question, because a lot of times it's different, but at the end of the day, it's a song that either they can kind of, when it's live, you can transform it a little bit, you can play with it, and it's always fun to see what each artist says. And, like we said, your album, All the Pieces Unplugged, is out now. Sounds like you got some pretty cool things, though, in store for 2025. So, 2024 is basically over. Sad to say that. So what can folks expect from you next year?
Say that last part again.
I was going to say 2024 is basically over. So what can folks expect from you in 2025?
Oh, you can expect lots of new music. Hopefully, if everything, because I'm scheduling this all myself, so hopefully I can get it all done accordingly. But lots of new music, trying to book shows in new states, so hopefully get to see some new places. And then I know the Netherlands tour, they want to have me back this next year, so I think I'm doing that again. So yeah, it's like a lot of music, a lot of travel, I think.
Well, sounds like a lot in store and a lot of fun things at that. And Emily, thanks for sharing the journey in this crazy industry and all the fun things though that you're getting to do now, and sharing a drink too. I appreciate that.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, this has been a blast.
Find more from Hops and Spirits at hopspirits.com.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.